One of the biggest misconceptions I hear about AI is that it replaces engineers. I don't think AI is replacing engineers. I think it's the biggest productivity shift since the internet. And over the last year, I've had a front row seat to watch that happen. As the head of DevOps at Swap Commerce, I oversee the help desk, DevOps, and security functions. In less than a year, we've grown from 70 employees to over 320, and we're continuing towards 400. When a company scales at that pace, you quickly realize that success isn't about adding people. It's about increasing what every individual is capable of delivering. What's fascinating is that growth in headcount only tells part of the story. The real story is the growth in output, the speed in which we're delivering value to customers, the speed at which we're turning ideas into production assets, the speed at which we are scaling the organization. Revenue growth has been incredible, but it sits underneath that productivity gain. We're seeing cycle time reduce. We're seeing teams deliver more. We're seeing individuals accomplish work that would have required multiple people just a few years ago. And does all that focus on speed sound familiar? It's because it's been the philosophy of DevOps from the very beginning. It's been the discussion point for the last decade or so. And that's why I'm starting this video series. Over the next few weeks, I will be sharing how we're integrating AI across the business, how we're helping every team become more productive, how we've identified the highest value use cases, and how we are building an organization where AI becomes a force multiplier for every employee, not just engineers. I'll also be sharing where we're seeing real results, where we're still learning, and what I believe this means for the future of scaling high growth companies. How platform engineering, SREs, and DevOps positions are increasingly converging. Why I believe engineering organizations are being fundamentally reshaped by AI. And what that means for leaders trying to scale companies from tens of employees to hundreds and even eventually thousands. When I look at what's happening with AI, it reminds me of the conversations people had about the internet. There was genuine belief that the internet would destroy jobs. Retail would disappear. Travel agents would disappear. Banks would disappear. And to be fair, some of the jobs did disappear. Some industries changed forever. Walking down a British high street today, and you can still see the impact. But that wasn't the whole story. What actually happened was productivity exploded. A small business could suddenly sell nationally. A startup could reach millions of customers. Each industry found that their industry disappeared and merged with someone else's. Cloud computing, cybersecurity, digital marketing, mobile app development, thousands of jobs that simply did not exist before now exist today. And that's why we're focusing on the wrong question with AI. The question isn't whether some jobs will change or disappear. The question is what becomes possible when every employee, every team, and every engineer becomes dramatically more productive. What's fascinating is that we're also seeing traditional boundaries start to disappear. For years, we've been talking about DevOps, platform engineering, then SREs, and how everyone's talking about AI and forward deployed engineers. But when you strip away the labels, when you're looking at, or when I think about the problems that all these roles are trying to solve, right? How do we reduce friction? How do we help people move faster? How do we get ideas into production safely and reliably? Personally, I think forward deployed engineer role is simply the latest iteration of roles that are trying to challenge what DevOps has been tackling for a decade. The technology has changed, the tools have changed, the job types have changed, but the problem remains remarkably similar. When people look back at the internet, revolution. They're rarely talking about the jobs that disappeared. They're talking about the opportunities it created, the companies it enabled, and the industries it built, the productivity gains it unlocked. I suspect we'll be telling a very similar story about AI in the next 5 years, not 20 or 35. And not that it replaced engineers, not that it replaced employees, but it gave people capabilities we couldn't have imagined before. And that's the journey we're exploring through this series. I look forward to talking more about this, and it's just an exciting time. I mean, just to wrap up this video, think of it this way. Right now, I see CI/CD pipelines as kind of outdated. I'm thinking that we should be talking about delivery pipelines, right? And AI is going to make this a whole big thing because now you can tie everything from beginning to end. And I look forward to talking to you all about it. Goodbye.